So this is basically it. So this is our thought so far. So we came from that little dip over there. You can kind of see the dip on the other side of those trees. So if we build that one, we're thinking of building this one a little differently. But so this will be the parking area that we plan on leveling it a little bit. Just so that way, the thought is to have this be a shared. We're seeing that people up at the other 4 do share. And so we're hoping this will be one of those where they share it more. Because you're going to have opportunity to have people come in here and pull around and do a loop.
Yeah.
We'll probably rock off some of this because we don't want people necessarily shooting this direction. And there's already signs that people are. You can kind of tell on some of the stumps down there, people setting up targets. There's still a road down there though, so we will probably close off that road so that no one can go that direction because we want to create a lob shot across this valley. So this will be the parking area. We'll have it bouldered off, sort of, so that you can't go further that way. And then basically we're going to leave this the way it is. And the shooting platform will be up here. This is kind of already where the shooting platform is, at least that we can tell from what it's being used for.
Is it going to be set up for people to be able to shoot prone and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we want to do basically, you know, a little left to that stump right there and flatten this out. There's plenty of material here to use. The only problem is we'll probably have to pull that. If we pull that, that's going to create a 10-foot hole in the ground, and we'll have to fill it somehow. So if we start a Jersey barrier line, you know, yay, they're 12 feet long. We'll do 2 like we did up the other side. So you're going to go 24 of the feet that direction, and the object is to shoot in this direction. The only difference is we want to create a lob shot that way. That stump on the other side, there was a target there. We took it off. That's 400 yards. So that's one opportunity we want to create. And then from here, set this down. We're going to create, hopefully, to where that white board is right now, that's 50 yards. Or I think that's 50 yards. I can't remember now. It might be the next white target straight in front. But we want to do like this direction. So from here to that hill, where that down log is right there, and you see all those targets?
Yep.
That's basically 100 yards. And then if you look, you can't really see it right now because it's wet. There's a pallet leaning up against, we're going to walk up to it. There's a pallet leaning up against a stump up there. That's about 175, just beyond it.
Yep, I see it.
There's some targets just beyond it. That's 200 yards. And so we're thinking we want to clear from 50 yards where basically there's a flat. I'll show you. We're going to walk over there. We're going to clear probably 20 yards all the way to the 100 yards. So it won't be clear like the other lanes all the way to the backstop. We're going to keep all this woody debris, and we'll probably clear out a lot of the stumps. You'll walk up to the line just like you do at the other 4. You'll get up to the Jersey barrier and you'll see where you're supposed to shoot. This is going to be a big experiment site because one thing we're not going to do is clear out a lot of the other stuff, which we've learned from the first 4 that by just creating the area to shoot into, a lot of people don't set up like that. You know, the bottle on the string hanging from the tree. Stuff like that tends to go away. You know, we don't plan on clearing all of these stumps. We're just going to leave it be. And that way, hopefully they're just going to use the cleared areas and they'll see that and they'll shoot into that versus putting targets on all the stumps for your pistols. There was a white target on it. So if you straight through those 2 dead logs, you see that one like 4-footer stump that's pointing up. Behind it, you can't really see right now, but there's a stump behind it and it used to have a white target on it. It's 400 yards to that.
I just catch all the tree branches when I...
Nothing really good to get to. Maybe between that area, there's a good black stump you might be able to hit. And a lot of this is replanted. And so that's one thing Randy is checking on, Randy with the Oregon Department of Forestry, is the investment that was created here. Because they did replant all of it. You can see the little guys. And depending on what the department says, he's pretty sure that they're going to be okay with it. This area that we're standing in was actually part of that fire. So this is all burnt down because of us. It was the target shooting fire. And so this whole area was the reason why we got the first 4 sets. So we're close to about 50 yards.
That white sign.
And we're not gonna level this. We're just gonna leave it natural, but we're gonna scrape it. All this vegetation's gonna go bye-bye.
Yep.
All the stumps are gonna go bye-bye. So just be plain dirt.
Yep.
And the thought right now is to do it all the way to the back, for the 50 to the 100.
Yeah. Right
So
to.
we'll do, you know, probably a 15-foot wide section and scrape it all the way back. All the way straight back, just like we did at the other lanes. It'll be a nice clean scrape. No leveling really, just remove stumps and scrape. So all this stuff will be bye-bye, you won't see it, it'll just be dirt. Now, the other thing that we've been thinking about that we haven't really quite narrowed down is we want to do permanent targets. So I've been talking to a few people in the industry on how to help design these things, because there's two things we need to do. One, they need to be durable as hell.
Yeah.
And then two, they need to be theft preventable. We don't want them just to get cut off and towed out of here. So I'm coming up with a couple ideas. I'm thinking of making like the whole thing out of AR-500. So if you've ever been to like shootsteel.com, they have a few stab-ins where the whole thing, including the little shanks at the bottom, are made out of the armor plate. Similar to that, except you make a long section of the bottom that goes up to the target, either for, you know, we're thinking a foot target at 100 yards. I don't know if we're going to put any permanent at 50. We'll probably put a permanent at 100, and definitely put a permanent at 200, and most certainly we want to put a permanent at the 400, because we don't plan on putting a trail to the 400. We're just going to put a target up. And so that way we don't get people that want to walk to the 400, put a target, and leave.
Yeah.
So right now what we're having issues with, as you can see, is we're going to go out to the 200-yard mark. People will gladly hike out to 200 yards to set up a target to shoot at,
They're not going to go.
but they're not going to go afterwards and pick it up.
Yeah.
So that's the idea behind the permanent target, is if they do go out there, they're going to bring a can of spray paint just to spray it,
Yeah.
if that, and then maybe leave the spray can out there, you know, for the next person.
Yeah.
So, you know, just vision about, I'd say probably from that stump to the first part of this road. And we're gonna just go straight back into that stump with the poster board on it.
Yeah.
The main concerns are people with steel core ammo. We can't necessarily regulate it.
No.
So, you know, if you get somebody out here that wants to bring their Barrett M107 and shoot at the plate at 100 yards, you hope that the fact that they own a Barrett, they're the type of person that knows better.
All right.
But you're still going to get the guy with like the 338 Lapua that they bought at Sportsman's the day earlier, and they're like, this is awesome, let's go shoot it at the 100-yard plate. That much weight, that much momentum, it will do damage.
Yeah.
High velocity rounds at 100 yards will
Especially
do damage with steel core. Our concern is with people shooting at the stumps is that they smolder, they create opportunity for fire. So yeah, so let's keep going. We haven't decided if we want to continue this or stay up. So if we dip down, which it dips down right here and it dips down a little bit, we might actually, you can kind of see there's a slight trail right here. We might continue this trail, so that way you're still visible. So this trail just goes right up to the stump. So again, we're walking in the path that we want to clear. So up to the quarter panel of that vehicle is 100 yards.
Wow.
And so that's part of our process, is we want to get that 100-yard shot. So what we're probably going to do here again is just clear out the stumps, either pull them or clear cut them, or grind them, and you know, leave what's ever rest, and then just scrape the dirt.
Yep.
And then this is kind of at a hill, so that's going to be the backstop for basically everything from the 50 to here.
Yeah.
So just like below, if you set up the targets anywhere in between, the bullets are going to impact in the backstop.
Yeah.
And again, hopefully we'll clear out some of the stumps above it to prevent people from wanting to put more targets. So the only thing that we've thought about is putting the targets up here, and I've been going back and forth. The Department of Forestry wants to put as many targets as they can, steel permanent targets. to give the opportunity to the shooter. We may just do that and see how it goes, just as an experiment. If they get destroyed real quickly, or someone comes out here with a plasma torch and cuts them off, we can't prevent that, but we still want to provide the opportunity just to see how it goes.
Sure.
You know, you got ranges around the area that have permanent steel targets at certain distances.
Yeah.
They use them for X amount of years, and then they replace them.
Yep.
The thoughts here would be, you know, we would create some sort of way of putting them into the ground where maybe they possibly are bolted in under the surface of the ground. It's not visible or obvious that you can unbolt it and take it off. We were
Guys aren't
thinking
gonna
of
dig that
something
thing
along
out.
the lines of a base concreted into the ground. You know, go 2 feet in, concrete a base in, and then either have holes in the. I'll show you a few drawings a little later about the design ideas that I have, but basically, you know, a 12-inch square plate with a 6-inch piece of, you know, the same material going down 2 feet, you know, with bolt holes, 2 or 3 bolt holes in it, and then underneath the ground you have a, you know, square tube or rectangular tube that slides into, bolts in, fill it over. For all the people know, it's permanent.
Right.
For what we know, we can
Dig
dig
it
in
up.
2 feet,
Nice.
unbolt it, slide it out, slide a new one in, bolts back in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we were thinking of doing, you know, the very steep angle that usually tends to, according to Iron Monster, that helps a lot with the
Directs it.
the velocities and to better prevent ricochets.
Yeah.
That's another thing that we may not even be able to do the permanent targets, because if the Oregon Department of Forestry legal team comes back and says they don't want the liability of putting permanent targets out here and creating the possibility of stuff coming back towards the shooter, there will be a lot of warnings and verbiage on the signs, you know, with basically pleads of mercy saying, please don't bring your 50 cal out and shoot at 100 yards, and probably have wording in there that says, you know, please don't use steel core ammo, please don't use armor piercing incendiaries, and, you know, stuff that people have that they're going to bring out, but we can't regulate it, we can just ask.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think 50 cal, I mean, the 400 yard shot, we're thinking 3/8 inch AR 500 plate. But so from a scrapper, you know, the tweakers that come out of the woods,
Oh gosh.
collect brass, they're not going to see it as value. But to, you know, the lower 10% of the shooting realm, they're going to see that as a $300 to $400 piece of steel.
Right. Right.
And they're going to find a way to cut it off. We're probably going to have to create a trail on the long side of this road, right, or the hill, so that we maintain visibility with the shooting platform. Because if you follow the road grade, it dips down once and it dips down again over this hill. But we'll get back on this road grade. We're not walking this hill. From here to the pallet, and then even beyond it, we're probably going to create 3 platforms. And again, it's, you know, oh, it's only 175, it's only 225 beyond it. But again, we just want to create more opportunities to prevent the people that want to come out here and put the targets at all those random distances. So if we create the opportunity, they won't come out here and do it themselves. Because they do that already. I want to target at 50, I want to target at 75, I want to target at 100, and everything in between. Just so they have that variety. 90% of the people are going to come up here and sight on a rifle, or shoot at the 100, or shoot at the 200, or try to challenge themselves at the 400 if we put that in. You're going to get the other 10% that are going to come up here and go target happy and just put stuff everywhere.
Right.
We witnessed that throughout the woods. People love the variety. They're up here to plink. They want to plink at all different ranges and challenge themselves. So you'd rather just create the opportunity. So right here we're thinking of a platform, maybe, big maybe, because if we pull that thing, there'd be a crater in this earth. So there's plenty of material to pull from the hill if we have to. So we're going to try to create a platform here, which is about 175, and we're going to try to do this staggered. We may put this one over here a little bit, because then the next one's going to be over here, and then the next one's a little left. So that way, the line of sight from the shooting position, you have the different, they're not in the way of each other. And so if you keep going up to the pallet, We may just clear off this whole 25-yard section up here. It's an idea. It may be two separate platforms. But the thought is, about this stump here to that stump there, and going up 10, 15 feet and clearing out a section. Be a 20 by 20 foot or 25 by 20 foot or even maybe a 20 by 10 foot section.
And these are all going to be those permanent steel targets you're talking about?
Yeah, well, it'll be a platform.
Oh, okay.
All of these will just be clear dirt platforms. If we could put the steel targets in, that'd be great.
Right.
But the idea is that you can still come out here and put up a target to shoot at for paper-wise, to sight in.
Sure.
But it's going to be a cleared area, so you're not shooting into that. Because, right now, people come out here, staple their paper target into this, and you have your 200-yard sight in.
Yeah.
Right.
So the idea is to have, this is somewhat uphill from where you're standing to here, just cleared dirt.
Right.
20 feet that way, in a square, rectangular, whatever. Just have it cleared out. Have a steel target if we can, and then perfect dirt to shoot into. And remove all the stumps around so people are coming up here and still stapling their targets to that. Trying to create the target environment to use versus the existing landscape. And then further up, there's one more area. It's fairly flat. So if you kind of look, that's a little bit over to the left. And then the first one down there is a little bit over to a little bit further to the left still. So in the line of sight. And then this one is a little bit further to the left of the line of sight still. And it would just be a platform about yay.
Sure.
Starting with this stump, going to that burn pile, and then just back a little bit. You have a flat area here, which is 225. We don't plan on going any further up that way. With this here, we'll probably still get people that are going to walk up, so we'll probably have to cut that tree down and clear some of the woody debris out maybe. But you're not getting much more. You're not going to get 300 yards out of this. Where it stands right now, this is 225. That tree I think was like 250 or something like that. There is a road up there. We'll have to close.
That's the one you were talking about?
Yeah, we saw that truck driving in.
Gotcha. Oh, really? I'll turn it around. Okay.
That's mostly it. I'd say if that guy wasn't down there shooting, we could walk or drive down to that bottom area and show you where we're thinking for the 400 mark.
Mm-hmm.